decadent, indulgent, delicious. In this video, I'm going to show you how I put together my blogiversary celebration cake. Hi there, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel Adventures in Yum, bringing you delightfully delicious food videos that I hope will inspire you to try your very own food adventures. If you're new to my channel, I share recipes for sweet treats and savory eats, food reviews, and yes, some cocktails too. If that sounds awesome to you, please consider subscribing. Let's recap what I've made so far for this cake. In my recent video, Baked versus Mug Chocolate Cake, I shared how to make my moist chocolate cake recipe. In the first video of this series, I shared how to make my luscious caramel and my silky chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. In my second video of this series, I shared how to make my creamy chocolate cheesecake and my super easy chocolate mousse. I'll make sure to add links to all of these videos in the description below. And wow, that's a lot of stuff, but we still have a little bit more to do before we get to the end. Welcome to the third and final video of my celebration cake series. 1 year ago on July 17th, I officially launched my food blog. I can't believe that it's already been a whole year. I am so excited to share this cake with you, but first I'm going to show you how I put some of the decorations together that will adorn this fabulous cake. For the decorations, I wanted to have multiple elements because I've seen these extravagant cakes on Instagram and they always have a lot of components to their toppings. It's not just some buttercream and sprinkles, it's a variety of sweet treats that decorate these cakes. Have you seen these crazy cakes on social media? Let me know in the comments below. And now, let's make the decorations. The first chocolate decoration will be made with the molds on the left and in the middle. These chocolate molds are super cute and the perfect topper for cakes, cupcakes, and more. For these mini chocolate bars, I wanted to add a little splatter of rose gold color, so I used some rose gold food airbrush paint and a Wilton food brush to create the splatter effect. I simply dipped the tip of the food brush into the food paint and while firmly holding the brush in one hand, hit the upper part of the brush with the other hand. I held the brush about 4 to 6 inches above the silicone mold so that it got a nice splatter effect. I love these little chocolate bar molds because they're super cute and they are perfect for topping cakes, cupcakes, and more. I then melted some light chocolate candy melts in a microwave-safe bowl in short increments of 15 to 20 seconds. Poured it into the molds, tapped out any bubbles, and used an offset spatula to smooth the top. I've seen these cakes with full-size candy bars sticking out of the top of them, and I figured I have my own chocolate bar mold, why not make my own chocolate bar to stick on top? I first sprayed the mold with silver edible glitter to give the chocolate bar some lovely sparkles. I then melted some dark chocolate candy melts in a microwave-safe bowl in short increments of 15 to 20 seconds, poured it into the molds, tapped out any bubbles, and used an offset spatula to smooth the top. To top it all off, I sprinkled some toffee bits on top of the chocolate before it set. Once the chocolate bars were fully set, I popped them out of the mold and set them aside. To add another contrast of color, I used some white melting candy to adhere some white pearl sprinkles to the large chocolate bar. I couldn't make a celebration cake for myself and not make some fizzy surprise bark. It's one of my favorite things to make because it's super easy and that fizzing sensation like from Pop Rocks with the flavor of chocolate is perfect. I love making it for other people because it makes them giggle when it starts to fizz in their mouth. I took the extra melted dark chocolate from the large chocolate bar and spread it out on a piece of parchment paper. Then, I sprinkled a generous amount of carbonated crystals onto the chocolate layer before it set. Next, I spread the extra melted light chocolate from the mini chocolate bars into a thin layer on top of the popping crystals. After all of the chocolate set, I flipped it so that the smooth side was facing up and piped melted white candy melts on top. Finally, I finished it off with some gold and silver sprinkles. Now that the decorations are complete, let's assemble this decadent extravaganza. First comes the assembly of the cake structure. On the cake board, I added a little bit of buttercream in order to ensure that the cake sponge would not slide around. For an added layer of flavor, I decided to spoon some Bailey's salted caramel onto each cake layer. I then placed one of my pieces of cheesecake in the center of the cake sponge, piped a border of chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream around the cheesecake, piped caramel onto the cheesecake, and finished it off with a little sprinkle of salt. After adding another layer of chocolate sponge, I piped a ring of buttercream just inside the perimeter of the cake and spooned some of the Bailey's onto the cake layer. Then I piped a layer of dark chocolate mousse and sprinkled a generous amount of toffee bits on top. I repeated this process until the cake was fully stacked. I then crumb-coated the cake with a thin layer of buttercream. This initial coat of buttercream ensures that no cake crumbs will get into the outer layer of buttercream. Once the crumb coat layer was applied, I popped it in the fridge to set for 30 minutes. Once I added the outer layer of buttercream, I placed it in the fridge for at least 2 hours to ensure that the buttercream was thoroughly set before moving on to the next step. I love making chocolate drip cakes, so our next step is to make the chocolate drip. To a microwave-safe bowl, I added 1 cup of dark chocolate chips and a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. After heating it in the microwave for about 45 to 60 seconds, I mixed the chocolate and cream together. If you're making a chocolate ganache, you may have to heat it for a little longer in short increments in order to ensure that all of the chocolate is thoroughly melted. I then placed it in the fridge for approximately 15 to 20 minutes in order to allow it to cool. Once the ganache was sufficiently cooled, I added the ganache to a piping bag and did a test drip on the side of the cake to ensure that they had the correct consistency. When doing a drip, you want the chocolate to be cool enough not to melt the buttercream, but not so cool that it will not drip down the side of the cake. After piping drips all around the cake of varying lengths, I added chocolate ganache to the top of the cake and smoothed it out. Then I put it in the refrigerator for about 1 hour to set. I follow a lot of bakers and cake artists on Instagram, and I've seen some of them do metallic drip cakes. I really wanted to give this a try, so after letting the drip set in the refrigerator, I painted it with my rose gold food airbrush paint. Once the ganache was firm, I carefully used my food paint brushes to paint all of the ganache rose gold. I tried several brushes, but the one that worked the best was the largest brush. And then I had a smaller brush that was used to fill in the details on the sides of each drip. Now that that's complete, let's add all of our decorations. This was the fun part. I first added the large candy bar and then added the smaller elements one by one. I had some Bailey's caramel chocolates, so I added those as well. I added some adorable Wilton sprinkles that are pink, black, and white hearts to add more beautiful colors for contrast. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I love how this cake turned out. It looks decadent and over the top on the outside, and we certainly know that it's over the top on the inside. For all of the recipes involved in the making of this cake, make sure to check out my food blog, adventuresandyum.net. Leave a comment below to let me know how you enjoyed this cake and this video cake series. Should I do more video cake series like this? Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm off to my next food adventure. If you like this video, please make sure to like and share. I put out new videos every Friday, so please subscribe to my channel for more fantastic treats and eats. Thank you so much for joining me today, and click right here for another great food adventure. I can't wait to see you for my next food video.